Both running, all over the place.
Okay.
Okay, I'm going to call this meeting to order of Point Edward Village Council. It's Tuesday, December the 2nd, 2025, 5 o'clock. Is there anyone with pecuniary interest?
Not known at this time.
Do the land acknowledgement. We acknowledge that this land on which we are gathered today is part of the ancestral land of the Chippewa, Ottawa, and Potawatomi peoples, referred to collectively as the Anishinaabe. It is through the connection of the Anishinaabe with the spirit of the land, water, and air that we recognize their unique cultures, traditions, and values. Together as Treaty People, we have a shared responsibility to act with respect for the environment that sustains all life, protecting the future for those generations to come. So we have no planning, no delegations, no public meeting. We're moving down to adoption of minutes from the October 28th meeting, council meeting.
I'll move that the minutes of the council meeting held October 28, 2025 be adopted as circulated.
I'll second.
I've got one.
Just a sec, I got,
correction,
just
sorry.
a, sorry. Keep this hand up. right?
Yeah,
Yep.
that's okay.
Sorry.
No.
Okay, questions?
I've got one.
Okay,
Okay, on committee reports, number 3, the Environmental Services Committee. The second line, it has Councillor Grimes or Deputy Mayor Grimes provided highlights for the Fire Committee meeting. He provided highlights for the Environmental Services Committee meeting, so.
okay, we'll make that revision. Thank
correction.
you for noting.
Yeah.
Okay, any other questions?
There is a comment in here about the dog tag, and we'd get a report back at this meeting. Are we
Yeah.
delaying that again?
I think we should just go ahead and extend it for another year.
Okay,
And actually, I want to bring back a report with the possibility of hiring someone to go around and go door to door and kind of.
yeah, I think that would be, I'm prepared to wait if you're gonna bring that forward, because I think that's a good initiative.
So I'd probably bring that to the finance committee in January.
Okay,
I just happened to see some information on TV about another, and I don't know what community it was. I walked in and they were going to eliminate dog tags, but then they said they still had to tag dogs. Like they have to have a tag because they want to be able to know where they belong if they're picked up. So I guess you just get your own tag, but you're not paying for it. Will be the difference.
but both my dogs have always had
Yeah,
a tag with their name, our
Yeah.
name and our phone number on it.
so that they were still wanting that to make sure, like if the dog was picked up or involved in a biting or anything
Yeah.
like that. So we'll probably hear more. Okay. Any other questions? All in favor? Thank you. So business arising from the minutes, we just talked about the dog tags. Ongoing tasks, I don't think is there anything to bring up tonight. We'll move on to general operations financial statements for October.
That's still Ariana's.
It's October, so
Oh, right, yeah.
Yeah.
okay.
Okay, so I will move the total revenue in general operations for the month of October 2025 in the amount of $198,921.25 be approved. And that the total expenditures in general operations for the month of October 2025 in the amount of $1,147,383.23 be approved.
I'll second that.
questions?
It's actually, not.
No, okay, all in favor? Thank you. Fire committee,
Environmental Services.
Like financials. We're doing financials.
oh, sorry, I flipped the page. Sorry, environmental services,
I'll move that the total revenues in environmental services for the month of October 2025 in the amount of, what is that, Jim?
$9.50
be approved, and that the total expenditure in environmental services for the month of October 2025 in the amount of
$93,509.27.
be approved, and that the updated financial statements for the month of September 2025 showing revenues of
$181,916.41
and expenditures of
$178,339.55.
be received and filed. Now there's teamwork.
there's the 950.
I'll second that.
My font on my screen is gone microscopic, and I didn't bring glasses, so that's why we had to do the tag team
Yeah.
there. So
Any questions? All in favor? You. Okay, now let's slip into committee reports, and the first one is operations.
I'll move that the operations committee meeting minutes of November 12th, 2025 be adopted as circulated.
I'll second that.
Questions on those minutes? No, okay, all in favor? Thank you. Fire committee,
I'll move that the minutes of the fire committee meeting held November 2025 be approved as circulated.
I'll second.
any questions?
I'll just provide some brief highlights.
Okay.
Most of, there was, talk about, changing some PPE, bunker gear and hose replacement to be included from capital to the operating budget, and that was done at our budget last week. We put more money in reserve for the new engine truck, so now we have a total of $1,200,000 put away for that truck. We talked about a new pickup, which we're not gonna do at this point for the fire department, and there was concern raised about an inspection of the fire hall roof. The chief wanted some clarification, and that was given to him at our budget meeting. And we talked about possibly changing the the yearly open house. Changing the design of that and possibly every other year, and that'll be discussed further this year by the fire committee. And that's my highlights.
Okay, all in favor? Thank you. Okay, move on to environmental services. November the 13th,
Actually 14th. I
14th,
had those two
Yeah,
backwards.
right, because it was done a couple days later.
I'll move that the minutes of the Environmental Services Committee meeting from November 13th, 2025 be received and filed.
No.
Thank you.
Question?
Just some quick
Comments?
highlights. We are looking at work on the continuing to work on the digester project. We are continuing to look at options for the sanitary lining of St. Clair Street. We did pass the budget and it went well there. And then that's all from that department.
All in favor?
Oh, I do have a
Sorry.
question though.
Yep.
I sent an email out after the budget about where the new stormwater fee was going to be charged, just for discussion on it moving it to be a property tax bill item or staying on the water bill. And I didn't hear anything back, and I just wondered if there's anything there.
Jason talked to the treasurer and it seems like it's something we can put on the property tax bill.
Mhm.
And then that'll also have the effect of saving someone
Power
paying
charge.
Blue Water Power
Mhm.
to do that work for us. So we're leaning towards that.
Okay, so it is under consideration.
And she's
Yeah.
investigating the process and how it would be managed and
Okay,
timing and all like that, so.
So it's not 100%, but that's kind of the way we're leaning, I would say.
okay, appreciate it. That's all.
Okay, all in favor? Thank you, and then finance committee,
I will move that the minutes of the finance committee meeting held November 13th be approved as circulated.
I'll second that.
And no notes. for today.
just related to finance, we give a donation to the Inn of the Good Shepherd in lieu of Christmas cards. And so I checked the budget in the mayor's account and upped it $200 to give them $500 in December. Sort of like a year-end gift, so last year we gave 300, so we went up a bit. Okay, move on to miscellaneous.
Take that call out.
Oh,
Favor?
sorry, all in favor? Next thing is miscellaneous reports, and it's the building permits.
I'll move that sorry.
What?
Building permits report be received and filed.
I'll second it.
Thank you.
All in favor? Okay, the next thing is communications, and there's an agenda item, consolidation of conservation authorities. So just so people are aware, the government is considering, I guess it's the Ministry of the Environment is considering consolidating districts to go from, what is it now, 37 or
Down to
down to 7, 9?
nine.
Nine.
Yeah.
To
Eight.
8.
Is it?
I think it's 9. I don't, anyway,
And,
large districts
I think the
instead
chair
of
would
what
know
we,
this.
how we operate today. So, many municipalities are feeding back, the displeasure at that idea and want more time, to have it considered, so.
36 to 7.
36 to 7. Which seems unwieldy, but. So at last Wednesday's county council meeting, the county sent a motion to freeze any activity while it's reviewed. And Greg, Deputy Mayor Grimes has brought a motion tonight that he'd like our council to consider.
So, yeah, so the motion is there. I'm looking for somebody else to move and second it, just because I am the chair, so just to remain sort of neutral there, but we drafted a letter that would be coming from the mayor's office outlining our concerns about Bill 68. Bill 68 has passed and got final reading, so at this stage, what we're going to try and do is sort of reduce the damage or try and influence how they move forward, but it has received royal assent. It's moving through very, very fast. So I'm just looking for somebody can move, sending this letter out to the Honorable Todd McCarthy with the CCs as noted below, and
I'll make that motion.
Okay,
thank you, Tim.
I'll second that.
Thank you.
I have a question for the chair.
and I've got a seconder. Was that you,
Yeah.
Councilor Burgess? Okay.
I have a question for the
Yeah.
chair of the Conservation Authority.
Yeah.
The bill's passed.
Yep.
They give us to December 22nd to voice our displeasure.
Mm-hmm.
That seems a little, but anyways, and I'm just curious, what has the Conservation Authority done? Have you talked to the minister? Have you, like, I know all the municipalities are sending notes in and all that. I'm just wondering what you've done.
Yeah.
At St. Clair.
Yep, fair question. So we're members of Conservation Ontario, so they've been lobbying the government on our behalf quite a bit. We've been to several meetings with municipalities talking about the impact. There is a meeting on Friday next week in London where they're bringing all the conservation authorities, chairs, and general managers together. The ministry is bringing everybody together for a 2-hour meeting in London. So we'll be discussing in more detail next steps. But your point is very good that they've asked for all our input, but just rammed the bill through without even a pause based on the feedback and questions where we're going to head. But we are trying to, even though they've passed it, so by passing, they've created the agency that's going to manage,
Okay,
right? So they've passed the agency and created the funding. Where we can influence it is at this level of how they interact with the conservation authorities. And that's why our letter talks about maintaining local control, local knowledge and local people versus reporting, like having the agency make the decision. So we're trying to make it top up rather than top down. So so the agency part of it's moving forward. It's how we can influence the how it's set up and the reporting is done. So
In the organization.
yeah.
thank you.
These areas.
But I will know more. We have a board meeting next week, and we also have the meeting with the ministry next week. So after those 2 meetings, I'll send you all an email with some details.
That's great, much appreciated.
Yeah,
Thank
thanks.
you.
So is our motion the same as this one?
It's the motion would be to send the letter as drafted by
Right,
the mayor.
okay.
And I adopted for the letter more of a style that fits more of the village, without all the whereases and here for
Yeah.
twos and that stuff. Our style's a little more. So I guess our motion is that we send the letter and copy and then,
Voicing our
yeah.
displeasure. Okay. And
Do you just send that electronically, Jim? Is that how we do it?
Generally, yes,
Yeah.
it goes, and sometimes there'll be paper copies go to certain people, but
Right.
electronically, just so they have it.
And for time too.
Yeah.
Yep. Sure.
electronically if we can find it. Like if we have a quick contact for him.
Yeah, his email,
Both times it goes electronic.
his email's right in the address section, so.
Yeah.
Okay, all in favor then of that motion? Thank you. It's carried. So move on to communications receive and file 1 through 5 is AMO.
All the time.
Thank you.
Second that.
Thank you. Okay, all in favor? New business?
If I may.
Yes, please.
Committee appointments for next year. So under the normal rotation, Ariana would move into operations. Sorry, Councillor Noctor would move into operations. Councillor Mondu would go into environmental services, Deputy Mayor Grimes would go into finance, and Councillor Burgess would go into fire committee. Councillor Burgess has a son that's a firefighter and has expressed some concern, I would say, about being the committee member. So I just want to have a quick discussion about if anyone would be interested in switching committees with Councillor Burgess.
I can.
Yeah, I can too. Doesn't matter.
You would put a name in.
Do I get the
hat, all of it.
Which one?
Now,
Yeah, do you want to?
Do you want to pick a number?
and then have we obtained an opinion on how conflicted he is?
I would say that's
Like,
pretty straight.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can give you an example. So Mayor Loosely from
Mhm.
Petrolia has a son who works as a paramedic part-time.
Yeah,
Part-time. And every conversation related to paramedics or presentation, he declares a conflict and leaves the room.
okay,
So I would think it's the same.
Yep.
Cause I don't understand what he gets from the financial. It's not a financial gain. for him,
Well,
but
Yeah, but the legislation's
Yeah.
fairly
Yeah.
clear that if it's a direct family member, that their interest is your interest.
fair enough.
So,
sorry, you wanna,
Arm
Um,
wrestle or no?
You choose.
No, if you want to go ahead, go ahead.
Nope.
No.
I asked you first.
Oh.
so part of it, I mean, if I may again, fire committee meets first thing in the morning where finance is in the middle of the afternoon. So if one fits
Operations?
better with operations is usually the 10 o'clock meeting.
Sorry, you said finance in the middle of the afternoon. So I
Yes.
would normally be on operations. Or sorry,
I'm
you
just
said
thinking for,
I just came off operations. I can do it again.
yeah.
So fire's what, 10 o'clock?
Fire is now, the past couple of years,
8:30.
fire's been 8:30.
Yeah.
Operations has been 10, environmental at 1,
Okay.
and finance at 2:30. Now that those can change.
Yeah.
what can change if we change it now as we
Yeah.
go into the new year? So if you prefer, like, we moved that deliberately for fire at 8:30.
Yeah, there was a reason we switched
Yeah.
fire and operations.
It's because it was easier for me.
Yeah.
I
At
did,
the time.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, and they were agreeable to that. They thought it was good for them, so.
We have typically left finance till the end of the day, just in case there was something at one of the first 3 meetings that kind of had a finance component to it, but that's not, doesn't have to be that way either, so.
If you're indifferent, you can do fire, but if you would like to do operations, I'm okay doing. Fire.
I don't think operations is,
No, it's either you,
It's,
Yeah.
That's what I, or are you gonna?
you
stick
switch with Paul.
now you've got me confused.
Mhm.
Yeah.
yeah,
So I would have been on operations.
Okay.
We weren't
under
discussing-
normal circumstances,
Okay.
yes.
So if you take.
So if you and Paul switch, Paul does operations for yet another year and you would do fire.
Mm, that is easy. I
Okay,
can do
we're all agreeable.
Right,
Way to go.
thank you.
Okay.
So just a straight up switch.
Straight up.
Thank you.
Is there any other new business?
I've got one. Don't know if we've got any answers on this. The recycling program is changing as of January
Mhm.
1st. For all of Ontario. Good news is that there's gonna be one standardized list of materials across the province, and it's quite expanded from it is today. It'll take black plastic, it'll take coffee cups, it'll take a whole bunch of stuff. Foam food trays, all this stuff that we can't do now. Saran wrap, and anyways, that's the good news. My question is, I understand from looking it up, Mterra is gonna be our supplier. Do we know if it's still gonna be the same day of the week?
I have not been told any different.
Okay, I'm just curious. And apparently now with this new program, businesses, schools, daycares, churches. Are no longer, municipal buildings are no longer included. So as of January 1st. They don't get any recycling. Unless there's a program set up for them that they pay for themselves or the municipality sets it up.
I
Councillor Burgess?
just read something that they were still considering that where you've got a retail operation and residential above it, where they were gonna try to do something if it was on the route. And I know that was being
Perhaps,
discussed.
yeah, my understanding is it'll be only for the residential portion,
Oh.
not the commercial portion of that. Don't know
Well,
how
how do
that,
you determine?
don't
whose
know how
bags
that
are-
works,
Oh my
but
God.
that's up to
Yeah.
the guys that are picking up, maybe. I don't.
Well, I just think about where our churches are located and if someone shifted a blue box over a couple meters, would
Yeah.
it still get picked up? Like, I don't know how you
Yeah.
would pick that apart.
So I've reached out to Mterra a couple times and not heard back from them, to find out what their plan going forward is. To find out the number of customers there are that are commercial or like non-residential. So I will continue to try and get a hold of them and get some answers from them.
I don't know if any other counselor got it, but I got a note yesterday from Circular Materials telling them with a PowerPoint. And also some social media information to send out to residents and stuff, so. I can forward that on. if
I got
everybody
it.
else got it, you got it as
Cool.
well? Because
Oh, yeah.
January 1st
I'm ready.
is like. We're less than a month
Yeah.
now,
Yeah.
you know, we need to communicate something out to the residents about changes.
Can you send that circular material thing to Jennifer and I, and we'll get it
Yep.
shared on our social media and such?
Well, yeah. There's some work involved with these PowerPoints. You're gonna have to customize them for the village.
Sure.
But it's there.
Thanks.
Okay, I'll do that.
But with January 1st coming up and us not meeting again. What are we gonna do when our businesses put their stuff out in January? And would we pick it up?
Let me get back to you.
Okay,
Yeah, that's,
We got guys sitting out there, what do you think?
it can't just lay on the
Yeah.
curb forever.
yeah,
No, no.
yeah, we'll,
Our vehicle, or if I may, the mayor, our vehicle is put away for the winter. It's winterized. It's not something we've ever run due to salt and due to the age of the vehicle. We won't have capability at this point within the village to pick that up as it currently stands. If we are looking at doing that, I'll have to make some modifications fairly quickly.
Is it just on this, like, I assume the bigger, like, does Mars and Bowl have their own? They don't put stuff out, do they? I think they have their own collection.
They got those big bins.
Yeah,
Yes, the side. yes.
yeah,
Yeah.
but the small units in the plaza right beside them, at least, they would put stuff out for loop in collection. So I guess what they're trying to do is make all commercial be consistent so that nobody gets picked up. I don't know why they won't pick up commercial stuff, but I guess
Well,
they had to draw a line somewhere.
this isn't really a secret because they brought this out in 23.
Oh, I know,
You
yeah,
know? This is gonna be more announced what the program was gonna be,
Yeah.
and now we're here.
Yeah.
So,
well, I'll do some follow-up again tomorrow and
thank you.
see if I can get some answers. And I'll communicate with her, maybe we figure it.
Any other new business? Community events. So this is a big weekend in the village. Friday night is light up the cul-de-sacs. That meeting, arrangement is at 6:30 at the pergola, so just noting that because since inception, it was at 7. We decided to move it up a half hour with all the little kids. So there'll be hot chocolate, coffee, some treats. And then the following day, so at the pergola and then do the trail. And then the following day, Christmas in the Village, December 6th, starts at 11. And Santa Claus is at the community hall. So it's a different location than in the beginning years. But he was in the hall last year and it worked out well. So it goes from 11 till 3. And The Santa Claus parade is Saturday night. It's at 6. Does anybody have any other events in December? No. Other than Santa,
Well, there is
the
the
usual.
at the Optimus Hall on Saturday night, there is the barn burners are performing. The Optimists are putting on an event.
And we sponsored a skate. What day was that? Was it December 31st?
I'm not sure. I was looking it up, trying to see if it's in my calendar, and I don't see
I
it.
think it was the 31st, wasn't it? So I think it was an hour and a half of ice time. 1 o'clock is what I remember, 1 o'clock on December 31st. Right?
Now we're done.
Okay. We can put out a reminder of that too as we get closer to that later. Okay, anybody else have anything? Okay, we'll move into bylaws, and the first one is bylaw number 28, being bylaw to regulate election signs.
So this is a new bylaw that kind of expands on what we have now, that basically just says in general, can't put signs on boulevards. This puts a little bit more definition behind that. It talks a bit about size of signs, how close they can be together, how high they can be, how large they can be. And one of the big things is there's a fee required, a deposit of $250 that candidates would get back at the end of the election period, assuming they follow all the rules. And there's fees within that. So if there's a sign placed where it's not supposed to be and village staff remove the sign, there's a fee for a first and second and third sign. If people have 72 hours after midnight on the day of the election to get all their signs taken down, if they don't and village staff go out and get them, they don't get their fee back. Candidates are not permitted to put signs up until they've registered to run. That's part of the Municipal Elections Act, that you can't campaign until you've actually filed. There's also a piece in there about no signs go up at all until 45 days before the date of the election. There's a bunch of rules about how close signs can be to the polling stations. So it's just a bit of an expansion on what exists currently. We are not aware that we've ever had any problems here in the village, but several municipalities have. And that's where this bylaw comes from, is just it provides an incentive to follow the rules.
I remember last election, there was a video that a resident brought forward of someone removing someone's sign from their lawn and moving it. How would we know if someone didn't move someone's sign and put it somewhere where they're gonna cost them money?
Yeah. Yeah, well, you wouldn't. I mean, if somebody moved signs, yeah.
I just think
Yeah.
it's kind of,
I guess maybe you'd argue the point and then like ask for a review.
Yeah, like on a first
Go.
offense, maybe we wouldn't.
yeah, it just seems like one of those things. If you're
Yeah.
trying to irritate somebody, I'm not saying it would
Yeah.
happen in Point Edward, but just
Especially-
any municipality in the province, it gets kind of heated in some of the bigger cities. And if you could stick it to somebody, you could move one of their signs somewhere there where they get a fine. Because I know in other municipalities, especially if you watch CTV News in any of the regions, there's always somebody during an election that had signs vandalized or moved or things like that.
Is there, oh, go ahead.
I had one moved last year, last election. A house that, went from Cam's place
Yeah.
around the corner and was dropped. It was just because you drive around, you kind of know where you put
Yeah.
your signs were, right? It was just like, I knocked on the door and they said, keep it here, which was, hey, that's a bonus. And then I went and replaced it Cam's. But like it does happen. And it was just kids, I'm assuming.
May I make a suggestion? Couriers take a picture. Take a picture when you place a sign.
It's a good idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have two questions. One, is there something driving this, or is
Just, like I explained, things have been going on in other municipalities that there's been nothing here. At least nothing that I'm aware of.
It
I
wasn't,
do remember,
another community in Lambton last year.
I do remember
Person got
Counselor
caught.
Mondu stating his got moved,
Yeah.
but I haven't had complaints here, but in other municipalities.
Because this is applying to everyone, not
Yeah.
just us.
Yeah, it's provincial, right?
Yeah.
Driven.
Well,
No,
it's
Yeah.
No.
our bylaw,
Yeah.
but it's driven by things that are going on around the province.
but it's not a provincial directive.
No,
Okay.
No.
I thought it was part of the Municipal Elections Act.
there are pieces in it that relate back to the municipal act, like not being able to put up signs for a certain period of time, not being able to put signs up before you register, which
That was there
is
before.
That's the
exactly.
municipal act,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
I just think,
So there's pieces of it.
I feel like we're sort of over complicating a non-issue, and we seem to be hammering election signs, but we allow all these open house and all these other signs to, to clutter the community. So I still don't know if it's necessary to go this deep into a bylaw, but
I don't personally, I don't think it could hurt because of the situation I know of in another community. And not to say that that would happen here, but at least you have some meat behind it.
and then they often talk about barriers to running for council. And so a $250 deposit having to be put down to be able to put signs out. Could that be a barrier for somebody to run for council, right? They say we should make it accessible that anybody can run, some communities add childcare during council meetings and the like, so it begs the question of, is it creating a barrier, or is there an exemption to that 250? Could we make it 50 or something like that? Like,
Do whatever
Yeah.
you wish, really. It's the village's bylaws, so
Yeah.
there's no regulation that says you have to do it a certain way.
now I know Pima does it. People give a $200 check, it's not cashed until
mhm.
If
You
you
don't-
don't, give your
volunteer.
time, then you don't get your check back. It doesn't have to be 250, but it's a small deposit. Kind of make sure you're serious about how you operate with your sign.
Yeah.
So I mean, 100, 150, I don't know.
I thought that original, when you put your name down to run, you put down $100 as a counselor, 200 as mayor. I thought that kind of covered that.
Yeah.
To show that you were running,
Yeah.
reputable,
We have to put the
campaign.
money up.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because we're already
So-
putting that down anyhow.
What that's meant for, it's a deposit to show that you're serious, and you have to get, I believe it's 2% of the vote in order to get that money back. So it's tied to how you perform.
and
in
don't
the
you have to file
election.
your financials to get it back?
yeah, I think so.
Possibly. I
Yeah.
don't
It is, yeah.
recall that. You do have to file financials. I'm not sure
I don't
if the
think
two
you're
are
gonna
tied
get your money
together or
back
not.
without
Um,
following the process.
So, but yes, there is a separate deposit. That as long as you get 2% of the vote, which in a municipality, like with 5 or 6 candidates running. Normally that 2% is not an issue, but in the city of Sarnia,
Yeah.
where there was 50
Yeah.
people running, I'm sure there are people that. No, they may have chose to give them back the deposit anyway, I don't know,
Yeah,
but it's kind of to eliminate the people that are just. Doing it as a joke per se. I mean, I don't know that that's.
or doing that longest ballot
It's
thing.
happened. It's happened in the city. Anybody else feel like 250 is hardship or too much?
I do agree with Deputy Mayor Grimes that we should be removing barriers, not adding more. Now, $250 might not seem like a barrier, but that doesn't mean it wouldn't be for somebody who might be serious and interested. If we were going to do something like this, I think there should be a workaround, an exemption that could be made. I don't know how that would work, but there are so many barriers in place, and if you want candidates to come forward, adding more barriers is not gonna help.
So could we put in a clause, 250, and then if somebody wants to talk to the CAO at your discretion, but then that
That's
creates-
difficult.
Yeah, that's
not
it's
right.
Not,
It's difficult to make, somebody have to make a decision on who's exempt and who's not exempt, and
Yeah.
I'd rather scrap it all together if we had to do that. Paul, what do you think? You want zero money or lower money?
I'd like lower money.
So 100?
Sure.
Just on that, if we do 100, then we still keep a penalty though. Let's say one
Yep.
first sign's 25, second
Yeah.
sign's 50, third sign, you lose your 100. That
Wait, how's it set up now? I thought I saw 30.
35,
65,
65,
65, and
150.
so, 25,
50
50
and
and
100.
the
Yeah.
rest.
Okay, that works.
That works?
Okay, so we're suggested to amend the deposit to $100.
Yeah.
And then change the fine to $25 for a first sign, 50 for the second sign, and 25 for the third sign.
Not
No.
25.
Oh,
Well,
Third
there's only
sign.
25 left.
Yeah, you lose your
Oh,
the
sorry.
remainder.
Lost
Oh,
it.
yeah.
That's what I was thinking.
Oh, yeah, that's true too. Yeah, yeah.
Okay,
Or I can just say the full deposit is gone on the third offense.
Yeah.
Or third
Yeah.
violation, however we want to.
Well, you can keep it the way it is, balance the deposit retained.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
okay. So we have a mover and a seconder,
I'll move.
okay, seconder. Okay, all in favor?
So if I was 2 in, I'd go move my third sign myself, just to, it's cheaper with the 2. That's a good suggestion, Cam. Just take some pictures of where you've got your
Yeah.
signs.
I put one on the wrong yard once,
Oh, so did I.
but I thought the person lived there and he called me up and he's upset. I apologized. I said, I thought my friend lived in that house. It was the wrong corner.
Okay, the second bylaw is to exempt the village from the Line Fences Act. So we had a request come in 2 or 3 weeks ago from a resident wanting to file, call in the Line Fences Act. A situation like that is exactly the reason why the province allows municipalities to exempt themselves from the regulations. There is an exemption within the bylaw that talks about former railroad right of ways, and that the bylaw still has to, the Line Fences Act still has to apply to those properties. But most municipalities well, I shouldn't say most. I've talked to Sarnia, Petrolia, Lambton Shores, and Plimpton, Wyoming. All 4 of those have exempted, and Enniskillen. So at least 5 out of the 11 have exempted. So I'm recommending that we do that as well, because generally it's because 2 neighbors are not getting along and they're trying to draw the municipality into the disagreement.
And the section 20 is the railway
That's-
exemption.
yeah.
Okay.
And just so if you didn't know that you need 3 viewers. So any request like that is finding 3 different fence viewers
Yeah.
to dispute. You can't have 2 because they might disagree, 50-50. So you have to have 3 to come and do this
Yeah.
viewing.
I've seen that some municipalities, it's part of their committee work or whatever, that
Yep.
they name
Yeah,
3 individuals to be fence viewers.
So I'll move it.
okay, seconder. Okay,
I have a question on, just on that former railroad line,
Mhm.
railway land. The path is the former railroad land. So does that mean that there should be a fence along that entire pathway?
No, it doesn't mean, no.
Okay, because it's a little confusing when you're reading this.
It just means that the Line Fence Act applies. It doesn't say you
There has
have
to
to
be
do a
Okay.
certain thing.
Okay.
It just says
So
that
just
the act
after
applies.
clarification. Okay.
I thought, just because my family owns property along there,
Mhm.
that it was a separate development agreement that laid out the issue about fencing.
The village has a bylaw that
Yeah.
requires fences and
Like, there can't be
requires,
solid fences
exactly.
and things like
Yeah,
that, there's particulars.
but that has nothing to do with the line. fence.
Okay, okay,
I just was after some clarification because, thank you.
all right, all in favor?
And then the third bylaw in the docket tonight is the fees and services bylaw. There are a number of new fees. There's an increase to most fees of about 3%. basically 3%, and then we rounded 3.25%, and then we rounded things off. There are a number of new fees in the administrative area, around things like, if people want an actual copy of their tax bill reprinted, that's a fair bit of work for somebody to come in and want that done. So there's a fee for that. If somebody makes a payment on their water account, like if they go online and make a payment on their water account and it should have been made on their tax account, that again creates a fair little bit of work for us, for the finance department. So fee for that. This 24% on outstanding account receivable. We don't have a whole lot of them, but it's a fee in place to make them, you know, if we, a lot of it is arena stuff. That's where most of our account receivables come from. And so it's just to make those fees, you know, and encourage people to pay their bills on time.
Just on that, I was gonna have a question on that to see if that included property taxes.
No,
Because it didn't really specify, it just said outstanding accounts receivable, and that's account receivable
property
for the village.
taxes are not an account receivable.
Oh, they're, okay, in my mind they are, but anyways, okay. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, there's provincial legislation that says how much interest you can charge on back taxes.
Yeah, okay.
There's increases to the flags to more closely reflect our actual cost for the flags.
I was gonna ask, is that what we pay for a flag?
It's a little bit more than we pay, but it's pretty
Okay,
close.
okay.
It's,
Handling fee.
it's not very much more. It's just don't want to be giving out of change. Right?
Yeah, it seems like a lot for a flag, but I guess.
Don't sell that many.
We don't, but a few.
No, but you still have a fee, but
Yep.
there's not a lot of people coming in for flags.
Tax rolling fee, that is, so Blue Water Power does our billing for water. But if people don't pay their water bill, then we have to reimburse Blue Water Power, and then we turn around and we have the ability to put it on the taxes. Again, that creates a lot of extra work for our finance. So it's a fee to encourage people to pay your water bill when you're supposed to, or else if it comes back here, it's an extra $50. Creating a new tax roll, that's when, like in severances and such, that kind of case, it creates adding a new property to the tax roll. Again, it's things that are creating work for our finance department and trying to recover those fees. We've put the new fees in on the water, environmental side, building. Nothing's touched in there because that's a separate review that needs to be done, led by the county building department. Fire, no new fees, just percentages added.
I have a question on that.
Mhm.
False alarms, I know police, we keep a list of false alarms. Do we do that for fire?
I'm sure the guys do, yes.
Okay, so that, you know, we can charge if there's multiple false alarms to a location.
Yep.
Or an
And
area.
as I recall, they have when
Yeah.
the current 4 Points was going through some struggles with construction. We were getting a lot of calls, and they got billed for some false alarms.
Also during the pandemic, when they had the extra visitors.
Yes.
Staying there.
Yep.
They had a lot of false alarms, which wasn't their fault, but was from that area.
Planning was all just percentages added. And recreation was the new rates for the arena. Now, the one there, I did increase the floor hourly rate. There hasn't really been a lot of discussion about that. But in the past, we've always had the hourly rate for floor rentals be the same as non-prime time ice rentals. So I took it upon myself to
We talked about it
Yeah, we did.
at committee. About the floor rental,
about finalize.
right? Yeah,
My recollection was that we were
Oh.
supposed to talk about it in January, but anyway, I increased it.
And floor time is considered when the ice is out.
Yes.
And the lacrosse or
Yeah.
somebody,
Yep.
a ringette or not ringette, but
Yep.
ball hockey.
The other one that I increased more than the percentage is the chip truck. We went from 1,500 to 1,600. So It had increased, it had been 1,200 for a long time, and then it went up by $100 each year for 3 years, then sat for a couple of years, and now I've suggested we move it up to
Counselor
1,600.
Burgess?
Did we get anywhere with soccer fields and Ball Diamond? We were discussing that.
June?
No, we'll discuss it.
Oh,
Okay. So it is still being explored. Okay.
Further to that, we've got a insurance agreement or a rental agreement when you rent ice. Are we gonna have a formal rental agreement for soccer fields and baseball diamonds?
It'll be again discussed in.
Thank you.
Okay, you need a mover and a seconder on the fees.
yes, please.
Counselor Burgess,
I can second that, Mayor Head.
Deputy Mayor Grimes, all in favor? Thank you. And
That was it for
Next is
bylaws.
adjournment. good luck.
Adjourn to in camera.
Okay, you didn't say that.
Mhm.
Oh, there it is, sorry. Okay, we're moving in camera. Mover and seconder.
Take care, straight home now.
Thank you.
Yeah, good to see you
Where
again.
you want to put flags or signs in our front lawn, feel free.
Okay.
Yeah,
I second it.
okay, all in favor, yeah, these two.